You say God is a word humans give to whatever created every and everything. Right? You ask if I want to call it nature, but my question is, what is nature? You ask me if nature can think or create. You said what people call God is a spirit, and that God can take on a form, any form, make a decision, or speak to you. You said to me, a gun. Can nature do that? I heard you. I felt you. And I'll be honest. I understand what you said made a lot of sense. You did? If we strip away the temples, the robes, the holy books, and just talk about a source, a force, a cause behind existence, then yes, we can have that conversation. Understand me? But if we are to agree on that, then humans must strip it from all religions. Strip it off all religions, labels, and say exactly the way it's supposed to be said. No dominate. No. What domination are you from? You know, Baptist. All the different religions, dominations, denominations, I should say. No tribal copyrights. No, quote unquote, my God versus your God. And if we're talking about the thing that caused reality, then let's call it that. Source, creator, cause. Not Yahweh, not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not Burman, not Oral Demir. Because the moment you add those names, you're no longer talking about the universe. You're talking about culture. You go again by saying God wrote his DNA in humans. Yeah. Each containing different messages. God himself starts from within. He's closer to me than my nose. He's closer to me than my nose. It sounds cool and captivating. It feels deep. It feels personal. But which God are you talking about in this here? A gun. Which God are you talking about in this here? And that's why I have a problem. A problem. Which of them? As we have many. You come a gun. And you said, I am aware that no man have seen God. You said whoever wrote about him in whichever way does not mean that this creator does not exist. You asked if I expect that he's supposed to communicate to me in a book. You said that it's my problem that I'm trying to figure God out from books where no man has ever seen him. And that God communicates directly with me. Not through books. It's like love. You said, if I want to find God, that I need to seek him, then he will communicate with me. You claim billions and billions of people have and still do. That because I never tasted the cake does not mean the cake doesn't exist. You said, it's like me asking you people to show me the wind when I live inside a sealed container. Yeah. You in it with a line. You in it with this line. Like love and wind. The proof is in the feeling. Fine. Now that you're done explaining, I understand and agree with most of your submissions about God. Now tell me, which of the gods are you referring to right now? You dig? As that has always been my problem. Always. Because the people you're talking about all have different versions of God deep inside their subconsciousness. And that's where the problem begins. You see, the Christian feels him as Jesus. The Muslims feels him as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who gave the Quran, the Ummm. The traditions feels him as the spirit that speaks through a coconut nut and ancestors. The New Age person feels him as the universe and energy. So when you say seek him and he will communicate, which inbox is he replying from? Which language, which doctrine, which version of morality comes with that feeling? And if not for the fact that you explain that the word God is a name humans ascribe to a supposed creator, I would have reminded you that no supreme being ever came out to tell mankind, hey, I'm God. No press conference, no global announcement in the sky in every language at once, which is more reason the name should not be taken seriously as in the Stone Age, where people use it for their secret agenda, and which they're still doing to date. Kings use God said to start wars. Slave masters use God said to justify change, slavery. Politicians, what they lying as, use God to win votes. Pastors use God said to buy private jets. The word has been weaponized because it's vague enough to mean anything and powerful enough to shut down questions, which is the reason I would never keep quiet until mankind is emancipated from borrowed identities and secondhand gods. I will still be speaking even when I'm long gone. Because feelings are not facts. Wind must be measured. Love can be studied in brain scans and hormones. But God spoke to me has been used to justify both hospitals and genocides. So if the proof is only in the feeling, then every every religion that contradicts itself is right, and that means none of them are. So I said, a gun. I agree with the ideal of a source. I do. I agree we don't have all the answers. But if you can't tell me which God you mean without pointing to a book, a culture, a feeling that billions of others have for a different God, then we're not talking about a creator. We're talking about psychology. Psychology. Until you answer which one without borrowing them from religion. The conversation is not about God. It's about man. And that's why I talk. What about you? And if you strip away every label you inherited, what are you actually left with? And is that enough to base your life, your laws, and your afterlife on? Come on, people. Come on. Put your thinking caps on and let's think. And critically ask questions. Continue to unlearn, relearn, and learn. Continue to evolve. Peace.